Welcome back to Unfoolish Investing, everybody. Episode 18. 18, Larry. 18.
We're almost at my age. We're really climbing the ranks fast.
You're only 20? That's amazing. Today's episode, we're going to make it straightforward. We've been talking an awful lot about it this past month. Earnings were this morning before the bell. SoFi. That's right. SoFi, Social Financial. We're going to discuss the report. It was an impressive third quarter. If you're looking for strategies to make smarter, data-backed investment decisions, guess what, folks? You're in the right place. You're in the right place. So, moving on. When I look at SoFi Q3 earnings breakdown, right? They posted a 5-cent share, beating estimates of 4. So solid, a beat there. 30% growth in revenue, solid beat there, driven by the tech and financial services platform. I think I've talked about that in the past. Membership growth, 756,000 new members, Larry. 756,000 new members. SoFi has nearly 9.4 million members right now. That's a 35% growth year over year. Before I expand on that, what are your thoughts so far on what you hear?
The most important number to me is membership growth, especially like where they are as a company right now. That should be their main growth driver, is getting more people on the platform. So to see a 35% year over year growth is huge. I don't really think you could ask for a better quarter. Between their revenue growth, the membership growth, their write-offs on their personal loans went down. So it seems like everything's finally moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and if anybody listens, Anthony Noto, the CEO that we've talked about, he highlighted their financial services and tech platform now constitutes 49% of their revenue. That's up from 39% last year. And I'm not that quick with math, Larry, typically, but that's a solid 10%.
Yeah, nice jump. I've said this before. I think we've talked about it before. I think a lot of people that looked at SoFi kind of wrote it off as just a student loan business. And there's so much more to SoFi than that. We've talked about it. I don't need to go to the whole thing again. But this is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the growth in the other sectors away from just loans. So now that other stuff is almost half their business, is really encouraging moving forward.
And I just want to say that, if I had to contrast it to that other financial company, PayPal, that reported today, PayPal active accounts only grew at around 2%. So much slower growth rate, a lot less members coming into the platform. I feel like SoFi is headed in the right direction, but interesting enough, both stocks went down today for some reason. And I'm not sure if one dragged the other down, but SoFi, which started the day up 2 to 7%, ended up finishing the day down almost 6.5%. It was down 10 to 12% at one point. I did not buy it that particular time, but just because it went down doesn't make me detract from this.
Yeah, I don't either. I think SoFi, to your point, kind of got dragged down by PayPal. I also think that there are some people that are probably...
Can you pause for a second? Sorry.
Yeah.
Foolish investors, if this video comes across a little weird, guess what? It's because I just had a Walmart delivery. I jumped up, accidentally hit stop, and guess what? They can't deliver NyQuil without your ID. I don't understand it. Somebody explain it to me. Hit the comment section. We'll do a separate topic completely around who owns NyQuil. And it's not you, Karen Lynch. So SoFi, Q3, 5 cents per share, beating estimates of 4. 30% growth on revenue, driven from their financial services. We were talking about their member growth. 756,000 new members this quarter. That brings us to nearly 9.4 million members. And I think I mentioned marking a 35% year-over-year growth, where PayPal, who also reported and didn't do too well, was only seeing a modest 2% growth. But just to kind of give unfoolish investors an idea, SoFi only has 9.4 million members, right? Any guess, Larry, on how many members PayPal has? Total active users.
No idea. Wouldn't shock me if it was 10 times that.
430 million total active accounts. So slightly bigger, but it gives you an idea of just where SoFi is headed over the next, 5 to 10 years. Anthony Noto highlighted 39%, 49% of their revenue, up from 39% last year, showing a shift to high ROE fee-based income. SoFi had even more exciting Q3 earnings, which of 5%, 5 cents per share. Why do I keep on saying 5%? 5 cents per share, which is more than analysts expected. Revenue came in at just under $690 million. 30% higher than last year. 30% higher, Larry. What's your take on the 30% higher revenue?
Well, I mean, it's showing, like we were talking about, I think, before the NyQuil delivery, that that their business has shifted away primarily from loans. Now it's kind of a split business, 51-49. And that 49% is pulling them into the profit. The same quarter last year, they had a loss of 29 cents a share, where now they're at a 5 cent per share profit. So this is what we've been waiting for. You and I have been talking about it.
So is that a
people just needed
share swing?
Yeah, 34. 34 cents.
With that math again, Larry. That's why I have you here.
Yeah, I'm the calculator.
Calculator, gotta love it.
So yeah, they're moving in the right direction. People finally, I think there's still some people that don't understand the stock. They don't understand the company. But I think people are coming around.
So with the stock dropping about 6% today, dropping down, and if I just quickly check, finished the day at $10.47 a share. Are you buying anything sub 10 at this point?
Yes, I think so. I haven't really thought about it, because I just kind of drip into it every week, and then, I was buying at anything under 7, and the stock kind of has taken off in the last month. So yeah, I think 10 is probably the new buy point for me. Where I might put a couple $100 in if I see it go under $10.
Yeah, because I think for the longest time, $10 has been that tough breakthrough point where they've hit, but have always consistently gone down from there.
Yeah, I think it's a psychological barrier too for investors.
And I feel like now that we've broken the 11 and now we've come back down, if we can maintain somewhere in that 10 to 11 zone, anything under 10 is a buy to me, and will have me adding in, because that'll be that, say roughly 20% pullback from their all-time highs, new levels. So anytime I see a 20% pullback in a stock that I look at 5 to 10 years from now, I was talking to a good friend of my town today. Guess what number they threw out as a potential 10-year from now? This is what they're hoping for.
For SoFi?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I feel like my number's 50. Is it higher or lower than 50?
120 a decade.
I love those SoFi bulls.
120 a decade out, and just like us, they are also drippers. into the stock. And, that to me is why, you have to be long SoFi. Now, they expect net revenue for the year to come in, I believe, somewhere between 2.54 and 2.55 billion on an EPS of 11 to 12 cents per share. That to me is showing massive increased confidence. They're targeting 2.3 million new members by the end of 24, reflecting a 30% growth in their customer base. Like, how does that not say buy more sub 10?
Yeah, I mean, another number that you could throw out there that I think is a good confidence booster is they are expecting their profit per share to double by this time next year. So this quarter was 12 cents. They're expecting Q3 of next year to be 25 cents.
Wow. That is a significant increase.
So, I mean, that's 100%
Now,
growth, profit growth.
currently SoFi has some of these other sites out there as a consensus hold, with a lot of people showing skepticism despite the continued year over year strong performance. And if you go back and you look at SoFi over the last, few quarters, they continue year over year 20%, 37.5%, 36.5%, 26%. Like, if my revenue continues to grow at those percentage, like, that's what you want to see. It's if you start seeing the reverse on that, I'd be concerned. But we're not. We're seeing, to your point, 30% member increase, and revenue just continues to go up and up and up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to stop now that they've really started to shift into that fee-based business that's not as capital intense. I think, we're just at the beginning here.
I'd agree. I feel like as we look forward by 25, we have inflation stabling, going down. So we've had that soft landing that we've been looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in an environment where we're seeing consistent Fed rate hikes, which again, we're pushing that wind against the company. Now we're starting to see rate cuts, blowing on that sail. Like, the wind, the market, the economy, everything is in the direction that favors SoFi and other companies that deal with this particular sector. And I'll throw another one out there. Affirm. Buy now, pay later. As rates continue to come down, you're going to see more and more people taking advantages of these services for vacations, for big purchases, absolutely anything. SoFi going to continue their lending services, just expand. This company has such a great future ahead of it. So I'm sticking with, and if you caught me in my previous short, $15. That's the price target I have set that I think SoFi is capable of in the next 6 months.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I'll be very happy at 15 in the next 6 months. If it kind of stabilizes around 15, that would be great.
I also, and I don't like to get political, I do think the uncertainty of the U.S. elections in the next week is also kind of playing into the stock market and some of the things that you're starting to see and have been seeing. So don't be shocked if after the election, one way or another, you start things shifting and start moving again from where they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the volatility today is, we talked about it in our previous video, the makeup of retail investors versus institutional ownership. It's mostly retail investors. So I do think there were some people that were taking their profits after a good report. this morning. So, I mean, today's activity doesn't concern me really at all.
No?
No, I mean, it was a great report and it went down. I think there were people selling. I think PayPal contributed to it. In the future, honestly, I think PayPal and SoFi are kind of inverse to each other. So when SoFi has a good quarter and PayPal reports a bad quarter, SoFi should go up because they're probably stealing market share from PayPal.
I'd agree. And I'm not sure I can add anything else to this right now other than I am long SoFi. I will continue to buy this stock as it comes down. I will continue to buy this stock as it goes up. And I look forward to the wealth that it generates for me, myself, you, and all the other unfoolish investors that jump in with us in buying this stock. Because this is a long-term wealth generator. It's looking great for the next 2 years. Now, look for the buying opportunities. As we said, we're going to continue to dip into SoFi, but I'll probably buy bigger chunks if it drops below 10. Hit like and subscribe. If you want to email us around anything, including chocolate versus candy, unfoolishinvesting@gmail.com. Until next time, folks, stay unfoolish.
See you.